back to Coaches on Call. Oh,
Here we go. Let's start over. Go ahead.
hey everybody, welcome back to Coaches on Call. I'm Lori Hamilton and my partner in crime,
Holly Fogel, the other half of Coaches on Call.
yep, are here and we're continuing our agent interview series with Robin Trammel. So Robin, thanks for joining us today. I reached out to Robin because she had an incredible year in 2024, but I wanted to get with Robin and get inside her head today, and Holly did too, about, she started in this business in 2018, and she's now the number three agent in our office, top number three individual agent in our office. And she actually started an estate sale business. I think you're going to tell us a little bit more about that in a little bit, but she somehow learned to take her estate sale business and leverage it a little bit and turned it into another real estate business as well. And we just wanted to hear kind of the story about that, Robin. So,
Awesome.
I know we did prepare you a little bit and we sent you some questions. But tell us a little bit. Well, at what point? Well, let's start with this. At what point you can get kind of give us a story about how you started the estate sale business, and then we'd love to hear about how did you connect the estate sale business with real estate?
Okay. Well, thanks first of all for having me on today. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. My journey kind of started back in, well, first of all, my degree is in interior design. I've always been kind of in the home industry.
Okay.
And so back in 2007, I started a consignment furniture store in Swanee called the Perfect Piece Consignment Interiors. And about a year into that, the economy obviously tanked in 2008. And it was great for my business, but not for a lot of other people. And so I had a customer that used to shop at my store who lived in Sugarloaf Country Club. And she had staged a builder spec home. And she came in and she's like, I've got to get all of my stuff out of this builder spec home because the bank is going to come and take all of my personal stuff. So can you come in and sell it all? And I was like, sure, I can. So, I was like, kind of fake it till you make it. And I figured, well, it'll kind of be like me selling at my store, but inside somebody's home. So it took me about a month to set it up. And I went in and, you know, barcode tagged pretty much everything in the house. And it was a huge success. And that's kind of where the Perfect Piece estate sales came from. And so since then, we've been doing estate sales ever since. And I've eliminated my retail store. We did move into a warehouse for about 3 years. I've eliminated that. And now we strictly just do the estate sales. And even when I had my store, my mom was on my back. You really need to do real estate. You really need to do real estate. And I'm like, no, I'm too overwhelmed. My kids were younger and I just really didn't have the time. And so as my kids got older and I was just doing the estate sales more, I'm like, you know what, this would really would be a good partnership. And I could kind of bundle everything and make it, a turnkey operation. And that's kind of where I decided I would go get my real estate license. And that's how it began back in 2018. So I did,
I
got my real estate license and that's how it started.
Yeah. Well, I was in Swanee during that whole time, the 2007, 8, and all that. And I find it so like I just think it's so fun how one little event ended up being the stepping stone for a whole different shift in a career. Well, not necessarily a shift, but how you saw that as an opportunity. I guess what I've always been intrigued about is maybe you can pull back the curtain a little bit. How do you find clients? Like, I feel like, it's the same, I guess the same thing to find buyers and sellers, regular, but how do you kind of carve out that particular person for an estate sale? Like, how does that
Mhm.
actually happen?
Well, back in 2008, when I started my estate sale business, there were not a lot of companies out there doing estate sales. So there were only a handful of businesses. Now you go online and there's many, there's hundreds of companies in Atlanta. But we've just, been around so long. We've got a great reputation. We're known for doing high-end luxury sales, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing we do. We help pretty much anybody because my specialty right now is really helping people who are executors of their family's estates, or
Mhm.
powers of attorney, especially for older people, because it does get very overwhelming for them to try to move, as we all know. So it's kind of turned into that, really, more than anything, is helping executors of estates, older people moving into assisted living. And so a lot of them aren't in luxury homes, they're in your regular, ranch homes. But my mindset is I'm here to serve people. And it's not so much about, oh, I'm just going to do luxury homes because it's about the money, but it's more to serve people. And that's my goal.
I love that. Do you have a big team that works with you on the estate side or on the real
I
estate side? Like,
do.
what does your team look like?
Yeah. And that's the beauty of all of this, is that there's just no way I could have ever done all of this at the same time. I could have never done the estate sale business and build a real estate career all at once. um, Already having an established estate sale team from 2008, it's kind of built its way. So I've got about 18 people on my estate sale team, and it
Oh,
pretty much
neat.
runs itself.
I did not
So
realize it was that
I've
big. I knew
got
you
an
had a team.
operations. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've got an operations manager, Beth. She pretty much goes in after I go out and I book all of the appointments. I balance all of the sales. She pretty much takes it from there. So she's scheduling everyone going in. They're doing all of the setups, all of the sales. And so I really don't see the clients again, except for on my real estate transactions where I'm, going over and doing the listings. But yeah, we've got a pretty big team. So we do pretty much 2 to 3 sales every weekend. So we're one of the largest companies in Atlanta. We just won Best of
Wow.
Gwinnett this year.
Well,
Ah,
congrats
Hmm.
on that.
So pretty proud.
congratulations.
Thank
Oh, I love
you.
that. That's great. Well, that's really quite an
Thank you.
undertaking to have like a big company like that being so successful. And then since 2018, becoming the number three agent in our office, which is a pretty competitive office. So, definitely congratulations to you. And it's just a testament how you were able to
Thank
take the
you.
skills from one business and then turn it to, over into the real estate, still running it like a business and figuring out. I guess one thing I'm curious, and then I'll pass it over to Lori. She's got some questions. Is, when you look at the two businesses, like, are there things that happened in the estate sale, those systems that in your mind you were like, oh, I can definitely just translate this right into certain things that I'm doing on the real estate side? Like, is there anything that just stands out? Like,
Mhm.
hey, if you get into this mode, you can pretty much do it anywhere. Anything kind of stick out for you on that, in that thought process?
Well, I mean, again, I think it just all goes back to serving people and helping them with the transition. Moving is obviously one of the most stressful times in a person's life. It's overwhelming. So the more that you can service, and help someone through that transition, the better. And I, offer turnkey operations. So basically they can turn over their keys to me and they can move out of town and they're done. And I think that's really what is the big benefit to my clients, is that they know that whatever they need, I'm going to end up, doing it for them.
Doing it.
So whether it's donations, a clean out, repairs, I've got it covered for them. So
That's
I
awesome.
think that's just
Mhm.
really where, the benefit is for my clients.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge benefit. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Lori.
Well, one thing
Mhm.
before, as we're kind of wrapping some things up, but my big question was, what do you think was the biggest learning curve to try to merge those two?
Oh
You're
my gosh.
like you're like full service on the estate sale side, and then actually you're adding this is like another full service business that you're so how like what was the biggest learning curve in trying to merge all those two businesses together?
I think just I was so confident with my estate sale. I mean, it's just like second nature to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I had conversations when I first started. It was just having the confidence
Mm-hmm.
to tell those clients that, uh-oh, did I lose you? Okay.
No,
My
we're
dad was
there.
trying to
We're
call,
here.
sorry. That
You're good.
that I
Um,
also could, handle the real estate part of it, because I was not confident in that part when I first started. So that was
mhm.
a real learning curve for me, was just having that confidence to say, because I would just, go through the whole estate sale, bam, bam, bam. This is what I can do for you. And then when it got to the real estate part, oh, by the way, I can do this for you too. But it was just kind of like, let me just throw this in. But I didn't have the confidence to say, I can also handle this and this and this and, how it would benefit them. So, doing it time after time after time really has given me the confidence. And now it's just, again, second nature, just like with the estate sale business. So, and now I know I can do it after, doing it for this many years. So, it's just now it's second nature, thank goodness. Because it was a challenge for a while.
Yeah,
And
but
still, I still have questions. I drive Denise crazy sometimes. What about this? What about this? It's still a learning. Every day I learn something new. I think that's just for any agent that's, in the business. You just want to make sure you're not making mistakes.
100%. And I think what you said was real key. You're like, you kind of had to develop your confidence. And it was like all those at bats that you got because you were already on appointments for
Yeah.
estate sale. And it was just like you kind of learned, I guess it seemed like you just could push it a little further each time. And yeah, I do remember having conversations with you and I was like, oh yeah, you will get this. Like it's going to come. And you got the confidence somewhere because you are, like I said, out of 140 agents out of our office, 140 plus agents, I think we're at now. You're number 3 is the top individual. I mean,
I think number
that's
4.
pretty dang good.
She says she's number 4.
Thank you.
No, you were number 3 for 2024.
3? Okay.
You were number
Thank you.
3 top individual
Yeah,
for 2024.
something kicked in. Yeah. Whichever one, I'm proud.
There you go.
There you go. And you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you're at an estate sale today, which is kind of cool. We're like coming live,
Yeah.
we're getting like live behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I always like to wrap it up with just kind of a hot seat question for the agents. So this'll kind of come out of nowhere. Let's see what you say. There's no wrong answer because it'll come from the heart. So if you were to wake up today with no business in real estate and you had no sellers in the pipeline, no buyers in the pipeline, nothing, what would you do to try to get business on the real estate side?
That's a good question. You put me on the spot, Lori. I mean, I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have this estate sale business because that's where I get most of my business from. I tell people that all the time. I'm very blessed in that way, in that, I have calls come into my office every day. I have an assistant that sits in my office every day. And when those calls come in, when she is vetting new clients, she asks, do you have a real estate agent? And when they say yes, the conversation stops. If they say no, oh, guess what? Well, we bundle our services. When Robin comes out, she will be glad to share that information with you. So, every day I've got phone calls coming in that are potential clients. So luckily for me, every day there is a potential client coming in and on the phone. So,
sounds to me like it's just, you get it's like almost what I always hear like Tom Ferry and all of them say, the come list me calls. I mean, everybody wants inbound calls and you virtually have almost pretty much kind of created it. You've got that opportunity that helps feed it. And, I think there's all different ways to get into the real estate business and you were able to really crack the code and kind of do that and do what works for you. And I think that's so admirable because I don't think there's a right or wrong way to be able to come and start your own business on the real estate side.
And that's not to say we're not always thinking of new ideas. I mean, trust me, we're out there, I'm meeting with probate attorneys. I'm meeting with 55 plus communities. I'm meeting with retirement communities. So we're constantly out there setting up meetings with those kinds of people who can feed that business for the estate sale side as well as the real estate. So we're not just sitting around waiting for phone calls. I'm out there meeting with people as well. But, if I wasn't out there doing those things, we still luckily have that kind of a pipeline where people are calling for our services that can initiate.
you know what this just kind of reminded me of is, and Holly, we've talked about this before too. It's Robin, you've got the niche on people who always need our help. Think about
Mm-hmm.
that. Like you just
Smart.
said, probate, people that are downside, people need our help out there.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
mean, you've got two ways to help people. You've got two ways to help
Mm-hmm.
them on the real estate side and then on the estate sale side. So finding that niche, like you have the niche, but within that
Yep.
niche, you're still finding all of those places that people need your help, the probate attorneys, the 55 plus communities. So I think
Right.
that's great. I think
Yeah.
that's, the importance of having a niche.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think another thing, just to kind of wrap up, is, we always tell agents spontaneous and reactive is a very frustrating and scary place to be. And I think a lot of what you said is, living in the proactive and intentional world. What you've created by design is not something that people can just kind of fall into. So, you do have something to be super proud of, and it's really smart.
Thank
You're just
you.
very smart, and you're just, a pleasure to have at our office and to be affiliated with you. We are just, thrilled to have you and for you to share your story and kind of your walk through what you went through to hopefully inspire others to go ahead and craft your way. It's all
Yeah.
doable.
Mhm.
We have to be proactive, intentional, and like you said, get that confidence. Because I
Yeah,
know if you came to my house, I'd be like, yep, take it all. If I could just give you the keys, I'm good.
that's right.
So, way to
Right.
go.
Yeah. So
Way to
Thank
go.
you.
congrats on all your success, Robin.
Yes. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you
much.
so much.
All right.
And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate y'all having me on today.
well, of
Yep.
course,
All
and
right.
yes,
Y'all have a
we know
great
you got to
day.
get back.
Oh,
See ya.
All
come out to
right.
our sale tomorrow. It's going to be a good one.
Okay. We will.